I'm going to do is right now I'm going to start with a drag makeup. I'm going to start with a wonderful model that I have here, Dominic. So, my technique is this. When I start doing makeup, I always do the eye makeup first. Especially if you're going to do anything with airbrush. If you do the eye makeup first, if you're doing a more traditional makeup, everything else is so much easier to complete. And the makeup that you apply with the airbrush is not going to ruin whatever you put on the eyes. As we know, we always moisturize before we do anything else, right? Or we prime our skin. And you know what? This is the first time that I'm actually teaching others. Usually I didn't teach this particular skill. But beauty is beauty. You know, men want to be beautiful. Men want to have a little extra oomph. I'm going to take a little sponge, a little bit of a priming moisturizer, and put it all over Dominic's face. Now usually I would trim his brows a bit. Can I trim your brows a bit, or are you? So before we ever do any type of plucking or any type of trimming, it's really easy to get rid of the excess hair first by just cutting. This way you might never need to take too much hair off. So if you get these little scissors, you know, the ones that have the little baby top, like Mac carries them, where you can get the baby scissors. The bee concealer is great. But you see, if I just trimmed with the scissor his eyebrows, I don't have to pluck anything really. You see how like the difference even from the two eyes? So again, the same technique that I'm applying now for Dominic, you do the same thing also for women. I don't know if my, okay, sorry.
It's your best side.
Well, good. We got rid of all the excess hair. We moisturized and primed with the priming moisturizer. So,
I'm just going to do my
moisturize. When you, again, I'm taking the lightest, this is the Concealer Trio B. I'm taking the lightest color that's on here for the eyes. And that's how I'm going to start out with. Now, the eye makeup application is the longest process. Everything else is really, takes no time at all. Now, if you want something to look a little bit more dramatic, then you want to go with a lighter color. But be very careful by going with a color that's too light on someone whose skin is a little darker, because it's going to start getting ashy. It's going to start glowing in the dark and have weird, funky colors. Okay? But if you start out with a darker color, then you can always go with the lighter on top of it. And let's say he had, well, we're going to go down here. I even have, you know, dirt off for that. I wet the sponge with just simply water. And I'm not going to cover Dominic's, but I'm also, maybe I can do one quickly to show you how to cover up someone's eyebrows. Because sometimes you can use the eyebrow as your contour, you know, as your crease. Okay. Now, here is a very important step in the makeup application. When you're doing the eyeliner, now it doesn't matter whether you're using a gel, whether you're using one of these little pens, or whether you're using a liner. It doesn't matter. But the important thing that does matter is you need to do this. You need to have the person have their eyes open. Wow, look at the light. Is that better?
Yeah.
So when the eyes are open is when you want to draw your outside pointed part. Not when the eyes are closed, because you want to see where you're going to go. Hello. So, close your eyes. If you do it when the eyes are closed, what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up taking the line too far out, and you're going to make the line come out here, and you're going to start creating Cleopatra eyes. And that ruins a good drag queen makeup. And once you ruin a good drag queen, or any makeup, you know, then you got nothing. So you want to start out with these two little eyes. So you want the person to have their eyes open, and you want it to be right at the edge of where their eye is when it's open, and you just make a slight line that goes up like this. Can you see the difference on what would have been close your eye? If this eye would have been closed, I would have naturally wanted to come out this way. And that's how you get, which would be for those of you sitting over there, this way, which would have already ruined it and created the Cleopatra.
What's the guideline? The end of the eye?
Not the end of the eye. Never go to the end of the eye unless you want to create like something that looks more straight and outside. You want the eye to always open, right? Now you take your black, whether it's a gel or it's a liner or it's a liquid or whatever you use, and you know one of my favorite little tools is the little finger plucking. I always feel like a professional with a little finger pluck. This is actually great because you never lean on someone's face. Now you want to make your line, and don't worry about this line being too exact, but I do recommend that you have a thin brush that you have control of. Okay, you start in the center, and then you work the excess into the inner corners. Try not to take the first big chunk of color that you have and put it inside, because if you make a mess, it's not a good place you want the mess is going to be. If you're going to make a mess, you're better off making a mess right in the center of the eye. Bless you, because that you can always clean up. So we want to create that eyeliner, and now we have a place where it's going to be going up. We're going to have the up line. And we're never going to go further past that line that goes out. So once you've created your first eyeliner line, do you see how already when you see it, it's opening up? It's not dragging his eyes down. Take your, again, another thin brush that you can control. This is going to be your crease line, your crease liner. You can take any dry powder. You can use black, you can use blue, you can use green. I'm going to do the eyes first, is whatever's going to fall down, we're going to clean up, and then do the rest of the face. So close your eyes. We're going to take our first batch of this, put it right in the center, work it in, and now what we're doing is we're smoking it out. Okay, we're smoking it out. We're making it soft. Model. Close your eyes. Listen, you know, you can look soft and hot, or you can look harsh. Yeah, and a mess is a mess. No matter what, you know. Here we go. Now we've created the smoke out. Open your eyes. So you see how it's already smoking out? There. Now, you realize, right, close your eyes? At a certain point, your makeup application is going to look crazier than when you started. This is where you got to have faith and keep going. Open your eyes now. Now, this is where you create the crease. You keep your eye open, and you want to create it. You're going to start from the outside edge, and you want it so that when you're going to have your eye open, someone's going to see a fake eyelid. So close your eyes for a second. You see how? Now open your eye. Look straight ahead. You do this with your eye open, so that when someone looks, you just created your eyelid. And we did it above his own natural crease. Dominic's own crease is here, but we're putting it right above it. And this is when the mirror really is helpful, because this is how you keep everything balanced. So can you see that? Now remember, this is right now harsh. Close your eyes again. But we're not going to leave it like that. This is how the beginning steps go. Alright, so now we've created a fake crease. Again, same techniques will apply to women. Just make it, tone it down. Unless you're going out partying, then, you know, live it up.
The sky's the limit.
The sky's the limit. And if you're having, you know, jello shots while you're doing it, then knock it. The colors we're going to use. We're going to use warm colors. The same type of colors that we use right for women. You're going to go, you can take your little mixer brush. If you want to be a little bit more dramatic, let's say, you can go into warmer colors. Oranges, warm colors. Now you're going to blend this out. When you're blending it, you're going to take it up and out. And go over the dark line too, because we still don't want to have any harsh lines. So we're going to put some orange, a little bit of the browns, taking it down here and then up. Okay, this is just the first step of just sort of softening it up a bit. Okay. We're going to go back into our colors. We're going to go back to the blues, the greens, and a little bit of the